will you guys see it? You guys see me drop the other character in?
No, only the knight.
No.
I'm gonna wait a moment. Let me know if it's still there. Not yet. No.
Nope.
Not yet.
What about now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. So I can drop them because I know there's like there's the whole hidden GM stuff that you can do, but that was just roll this. It looks like also. It looks like I don't know. So let me see. I'm gonna drop. So you do not see the bards that I'm dropping in front of you.
Oh, now I do.
Now you do.
One.
I see 2 dudes on the path in front.
There should be 4.
Oh.
Yeah, I only see 2.
Oh, now I see 4.
So it's
Maybe it just is lagging a little bit before they show up.
I'm trying to figure out how to spawn.
They're disappearing right away though when you delete them.
Yeah. All right. So let me try. So this is GM mode. Did anything just get dropped in the middle?
Yes.
Yeah,
See,
there's a guy.
Now I dropped that in GM mode, and I don't know why you were able to see that because of that. If you right-click a mini, I can hide them. So chat. I'm trying to figure out, can I deploy a miniature in secret?
What you would have to do is you deploy it.
Actually, yeah, let's do cutscene mode here real quick. Let me also remember this thing. Cutscene, and we'll grab a shot. So you guys should be seeing. Here's the party. Huh? Why is it like that? So are you guys now seeing the camera locked behind you?
Yes.
Yes.
Terrific. Okay. Oh, and we have the lead dev in chat here too, so they're going to be watching us doing this in real time. So, no pressure.
It's lovely.
Hey Johnny, good to see you, dude. We're taking everything for a spin. I don't know much about the GM tool set, so we're kind of like playing it by ear.
I don't think you've given me control of that figure yet.
Oh, I apologize. Let me see. GM tools, make unique. Oopsies, I just did not mean to do that. Yeah, Johnny, can I deploy something in secret, or do they need to? Does it need to be hidden when they approach the board? Because I'm kind of like the type of person where it's like I might not use the hidden feature, but I might know something is there and just want to drop something in when they get to it. GM tools, rename to Hunter. And there you go, Hunter. You should have permission now. You can't, but it is something we can implement pretty quickly. I would love you forever if you did that, Johnny. Because like as I'm Hunter the Druid, see there we go. Hello. See, I like that. I personally think that is like text-based for that can be really great. Comic boxes, Chrome Smash! See, I think that stuff is like really awesome. Now, one thing that would be really good too, Johnny, let's cut the middleman out of Discord, and let's do microphone for the Game Master. Maybe everybody else as well, but make it so that like making the Game Master able to also talk to the party as like a one-way channel that they can listen to. That's, I think, would be pretty good. But so here's a question: do you guys want to do voice chat for this, or do you guys want to try the speech bubbles and do that? I come from a text background, and I think that text can be incredibly good. I really do. But cutscenes for when the party is RPing. Code word tangent at G Fuel, thank you. Keeps chat clear, makes it cinematic AF. That's what I was saying. It's like, I'll be paying attention to everything that you guys are saying, and I can also bring up the log, so I can see what you guys are saying. Lovely UI, by the way, guys. Yeah. Yeah. But I'll leave it up to party vote. There's 5 of you. That's more than enough to break a tie. So, what do you guys think? So let's start with Steggy. Steggy, text or voice? Be totally honest. Like it's whatever you want.
Oh, absolutely. Bubbles all the way. That is awesome. I love it.
All right. One vote for Bubbles. Prestonia, what about you?
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Jester, what about you?
I'm a little concerned about maybe missing some people sending messages, but I like the bubbles and I want to try it.
Now, we got to see if there's a way to do an action. Like, is there a text way of making it so people know you're trying to roleplay an action or something like that? Chat log is in the space menu. Yep. So I'm gonna grab a copy right now. Nice, Pain Chaos Basement. We're doing lots of module stuff with our community right now too, so. Chat bubbles need work as well, though. /me does a thing. Does it? It's like /me. How about this? Let's do this. For roleplay purposes, you guys will use the bubbles. But if you guys want to do an action or request doing a roll, open your mic and then ask for that. And we'll resolve that in voice. How does that sound? I will do descriptions in voice and all of that. You guys do that.
That works for me.
Okay. And again, I do apologize for any jankiness. I'm very new to this. My encounter was originally admittedly balanced for 2 people. We're going to try and do it for 5. We'll see what we can do. But let us get ready to begin. So I'm going to put us into exploration mode. Rob is fine with these bubbles. Makes him want to smash pretty bubbles. Excellent. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I very well may voice some of the stuff that you guys are hearing. But yes, I would request, no open mics. No open mics. Do push to talk. And we will do like an addressing or Dungeon Master when you have an action you want to perform. And things like that. Okay? And I will do my best to kind of like read along with you and see what we can do. So I'm pretty excited. Let me see. So turn-based mode, exploration mode. Now this normally here wouldn't be like a straight up roleplay spot. Like it would be. Like the combat hasn't started yet. So sounds like a nerd. Speak many tongues, elf. Out of character in Discord, roleplay and bubbles. Yep. So, and it's going to be up to you guys to kind of like also follow along reading what they've got on screen. Hopefully it will be something visible you can do. Also, definitely need some Twitch API support on this. All right. But let us begin. Ladies and gentlemen, you notice as you've been walking on the path that there are lit lanterns here, and indeed one such catches your eye as you step on over to the stump. You feel the crush and crunch of dead and dying and drying leaves beneath your feet. This place looks like it hasn't been maintained in quite some time, and yet there are lanterns, and they are lit. What could it mean? What would you like to do with the lantern?
I will reach out and touch the lantern to pick it up.
Okay. We'll say that for the purposes of this, you have successfully picked up and added the lantern. I would say that now you are permitted to... Actually, I wonder if I do this or if you do this. Hold on. We enabled the torch on you now, so now you can see in your area around you. Your miniature should now be lit up.
Oh, it is.
There we go. because I can't show them the whole board without having all of this stuff kind of. Wait, can I do this? Okay, I guess that's also fine. I can do that instead. Sorry, players. I'm talking with one of the devs. All right, carry on. Our intrepid heroes continue to make their way down, making note of these lit lanterns. Again, the place seeming in stark disarray. And yet somebody must have been here. Ginger Beer Gentleman, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate you. Thank you for sponsoring us. We're doing all right. This looks so cool. Is it expensive? It's 25 bucks, and you need it to be able to play with other people. And I'm going to be doing this on the regular for you guys. Like, I just want to. So, get it. Get it. Indeed, the appreciation for the stonework soon begins to give way as the already worn stones begin to become cracked and missing. Further neglect evident as they walk up the path, the cobblestone separating, leaves caked between them, mud and grime, the occasional tangled overroot. But as you step beyond the fenceway, you are greeted with the ominous sight of Heroes' Rest, a place for notable nobility and heroes of this particular province that have been laid to rest here. To your right, for example, the large looming obelisk is for Gregor the Tidebringer, a druid who specialized in water magics and successfully prevented the province of Albion from overflooding, ruining the crops and enabled him to have many prosperous years. Still the ravens stare at you, squawking from their lofty perches. What do you do, guys, as you make your way into this location? Maybe we can eat one. Indeed, they are plump, large birds. I'm also blocking text over here a bit, so I'll move myself. Also, my green screen's acting up. 1 second, guys. I don't know if that's gonna help, but we'll see. Okay.
I am going to go off the beaten path and some of the names on the tombstones.
Very well. Which one do you go to?
I'll start here.
Are you in front of the, are you the one in front of the Raven? Or is that Prestonio? Sorry, I'm so...
I'm the elf.
You're the elf over... Aha!
Aha!
Stegolis! You make your way down the lane and you notice that many of these stones have been crumbling away. Many of these stones, despite looking very old, are probably a lot younger than you are. You come to rest before a particular one. You stare at here. And, let's have you roll spot. Or perception. Aha. Okay. What languages do you speak?
Let's see here. Common, Dwarven, and Elvish.
Oh, aren't you lucky? You find the gravesite of Sir Dark Grib. Dark Grib was a dwarf that had a rather looming, brooding past. He was known to govern fairly, but was very stern, and was a man of law. oftentimes villainized for his dark name. Anybody else care to do an action?
I'd like to approach the main coffin in the center.
Very well. You do so. There's nothing quite entirely more man-made than a cemetery. You think to yourself, perhaps, as you walk up and approach the looming ceremony of the large stone casket before you. All the pageantry and ceremony of the large carved effigies of knights standing vigil, surrounded, guarded by heavy fence work that seems like it could never possibly be breached, and yet also ceremony. You get the feeling that this location is very hollowed, and yet there is something not quite right. Not a real wizard. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the 28 months. Woo! These statues are well made for humans, indeed. Even though you are a bit of a woodsman yourself, more so than a smith. Your ranger eyes can see clear as day that there is talent in these statues that have been crafted. What do you guys do?
Take a short walk around, I suppose.
Okay. Let's have each and every one of you right now actually make a perception check. And I can see what you guys roll as well.
How do you add a modifier?
That I don't know in this, and don't know if you can. That's why their D&D Beyond is a good resource that I don't have yet that plugs into this, as a matter of fact. So I guess I guess you guys should tell me what your totals are then afterwards, because I only see the raw roll.
You should see the modifiers.
Oh, I do see them actually. Now you can't do that in this game. You have to use the Beyond thing for that.
Yeah, it's a Chrome plugin, so it's really easy to use.
Okay. So. Oop.
Oh, goodness.
Oh. All right. Well, we're gonna.
Wow, a 46.
I don't think you can do
right.
that. Let's try that again.
Let's take one of those ones.
Try that again.
How do I bring up a dice again?
So you're gonna hit spacebar, and it will bring up the dice. It should at least.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Jester, what do you add to that, if anything?
I've got a 12 total after that.
Okay.
And I got a +3 on mine.
Okay. Hunter and Jester. The others don't seem to quite take notice of this, but your keen eyes manage to spot that every once in a while there's a footstep, a footfall, an imprint of a boot perhaps, in otherwise undisturbed soil. It might have been hard to find, but there was a recent rain, and especially your keen ranger senses have enabled you to possibly spot this difference. Someone must have been here recently, the dwarf reports. And indeed, you come to realize that one of your friends has spotted it as well. Indeed, the party begins to go over the possibilities. The place is seemingly neglected. Could it have been the groundskeeper coming to check on things? But why is the place in such disarray if the groundskeeper is here? Somebody lit the lights. Perhaps it was that person. But who is that person? Dwarf Ranger, make a spot check. Wood Elf, Druid, make a spot check or perception.
Would that be, you said perception?
Yes, perception, sorry. Old habits. I'll call it spot all the time.
It's all good. There's also, like, investigation, so you never know.
+3 to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10 total from me.
Okay. Let's have both of you also roll listen.
Suppose that would probably be perception as well.
Oh, is listen gone too now?
Yeah,
Shit.
There's perception and
Okay,
investigation.
I guess that's fine because this also works. I can describe something for that. Sorry.
It's all good.
All right. As you guys are investigating, you hear both of you actually hear something that's a little off. Sure, these vines are rustling and the leaves are moving in the wind, but I think you hear something that's a little bit more like paper or scraps of something blowing in the breeze.
Can I do an insight check to see if I can recognize what that is?
Okay. You may do so.
Okay. Alright, game. Let me roll the dice. It won't let me roll it.
It won't let you roll it?
Nope.
Okay, so have you but you have been rolling dice.
Yeah, in the game. I got them to pop up, but it won't let me roll.
Click on.
Yeah, it might be a bug on early access. You might have to drop it down and select another one again. There you go.
Up.
It's okay. She's just queuing up everything else too. It's all right.
There we go. And a +5 to that for the insight.
Okay. It's a little hard for you to glean exactly what it is, but you do hear that it is echoing off of the stone structures, and it is off to the right of you. What the heck is that noise? I hear something from the right. And of course, everybody in the party hears that too. The rest of the party sees the dwarf and wood elf return, both of them seeming keen on investigating, looking around their surroundings as if trying to locate something. Did you say noise? Oh, wait a minute. I'm confusing. It's a human druid and a wood elf barbarian, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, I apologize. I've been saying wood elf for some of these things.
Do I see anything on this right side of the statue here that might look like it makes that noise?
Hey, things and stuff. How you doing, bud? Roll another perception check.
That is a 6.
The three of you who are in this same area, you may also roll a perception check. So whoever the two of you that did not roll one, you may do so.
Could I also roll one to see if there's anything down by the site?
You certainly could.
Hold on, Steggy. Never mind.
I see everything.
Okay. All right. Stegs? So all the party is attempting to triangulate where the sound is coming from. Those of you who are up here, closer to the middle of the cemetery grounds, you find yourself searching amongst the leaves. Indeed, it's a very similar sound to the papery dry leaves that are there. But Steggy, while they're searching around the leaves, you notice, off in the corner, that there appears to be, scattered amongst the leaves, are some crumpled parchment papers that are almost difficult to find because they're laying amongst them.
Alright, I'll go up there and pick him up. Look at him.
Okay. You pick up the parchments on the ground, and you are able to glean from them a number of complex-looking alchemical or perhaps spellcasting rituals. It appears to be a schematic for some sort of spell.
Alright, I'll pick him up and hand him, like, through the posts and the railing to...
Sure. Gotcha. Stegolas slides through a number of pieces of parchment paper that he finds. Now, as you begin to reveal them and sort the leaves away, you find that there are more pieces of paper as well, of similar design and nature. All of them heavily inked, some of them in red. All of them having what appear to be mathematical sigils, glyphs, transmutation circles, and other things that are inherently and obviously of the arcane arts. Whether or not they're actually magical or not, you're not so certain. But this appears to be a recipe, a formula, something of the like. They pour over the information. Prestonia, are you just standing guard over here?
I'm actually sat on the steps just whistling a tune.
Could I do like an Arcana check or something?
By all means. By all means. You can do Knowledge Arcana, or this. I'm leaving it up to you guys to interact.
Because I have alchemist supplies and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a bonus for that.
Okay.
But I got +1 to Arcana, so I'll go with that.
All right. We'll say that you use your alchemy kit. You know that very well there can be enchantments in the very ink and parchment. Let's check some roll. What's your total roll again?
14. I have, if we use the supplies, then it's 14 plus the 2, I guess.
Okay. Through using several dusters and scribes, and with the aid of a magnifying glass, you are able, in fact, to determine that at least one of the ink components on the paper is dry, coppery blood. And really not even all that dry, recently dried, suggested by the rust-red color of it. See, chat, the thing that I really like about this is, like, over there, they're having their own conversation, and you guys can see it, and it's not being interrupted by stuff. I love it. Every player must have Talespire to play this. Talespire, yes. D&D Beyond, no.
Alright, I grab the papers and I walk towards the others.
Alright. So make note of that. On whatever you're doing to track inventory and all of that.
Alright.
Just cleaning up the dice, sorry. Okay. The party reconvenes in front of the large sarcophagus. They begin to share their information amongst one another. These parchments are written in blood, the druid reports. But how do you know? Steglas asks. It's been some time, but your half-orc companion makes his way around and back to the group. Indeed, they report that he used his alchemy kit to discern. It says. Now, how many of you guys have not had a chance to look over the documents?
Crop does not wish to look at the documents. Crop can't read.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Crom can't read. That's not gonna help. Ah, you have the illiteracy feat. I see. I love that inside joke of barbarians. One second, guys. Toothless, welcome back, buddy. How's it been? It's been a few, hasn't it? Hope you're doing well. Pardon me, chat, while I focus on the play group here. I appreciate you all. Just obviously keeping our group going. All of you make a perception check.
Oof.
+3 for my perception.
That's a 6 for me.
Okay.
18 for Chrome.
18 for Crom? Okay. Let me see. So, stagger 13, 18. Hunter, how much is your total?
+3 to whatever I rolled. So I think it's
Okay.
19.
Alright. So, Prestonio and Hunter. Prestonio. As you're looking around, admiring your blade and not particularly taking interest in the parchment paper that these Humies are passing around, you do take note, however, that there is actually some smashed stone here in the graveyard. particularly up around the statues. This doesn't look like normal wear and tear to you. It looks as if something has been struck or forced. Perhaps grave robbers. But somebody has been around here, possibly damaging the structures themselves. As for you, Hunter, while you are walking around this area, you notice that there's a lot of particular interest around the back of the statues. It appears to be that more of the footsteps that you found earlier continue to move about. It seems as if, more so than the rest of the graveyard, this top area has had some heavier traffic than normal, whatever that might mean. Some more footprints.
Now, by the top of the area, do you mean the top of the inside, or
like
towards
this
the
inner square?
Okay.
Like all, yes, including behind the back of the sarcophagus.
I'd like to thoroughly investigate this statue that appears to have more traffic around it.
Indeed. Okay. Well, this is your party's first pilgrimage to paying respects to your ancestral warriors that have come before you. Your ritual here perhaps is even a little somber. You were supposed to come here and light the torches themselves to pay homage, but someone already has. And to your knowledge, there's nobody that was supposed to have been in this area. Which area in particular were you examining? This back statue?
Yes.
Alright, roll perception. Or roll investigation, rather. Anybody else who's doing so may do so as well.
That's a 9 from me.
A 9 for you? Okay.
Who else is over here? Oops.
You're gonna have to roll climb if you're gonna do that, my friend. Alright, so Jester, you approach the statue and you begin to investigate it. It does appear that for whatever reason, a portion of the shield has been smashed on it. Now, decoratively, actually, all of you guys roll knowledge history. Roll knowledge history. I'm giving you guys too much without checks. Who's got some history?
Hey, 19.
Aha. Okay. Well, a bunch of you guys, trained or untrained as you are, make the startling revelation that perhaps it must have been grave robbers or something else, but there are circular notches in the stone shields here, and it appears as if a heavy object has been struck against them. These shields, each of them, were home to 2 very, very valuable gemstones, as these were in fact given as gifts by dwarves, and were not human craftsmanship to begin with. These here were made to commemorate the heroes of this graveyard, and it appears that the sacred jewels that have been in the armor and armaments of these 3 sentinels has been taken. But everything else seems undisturbed. Indeed. It is even a wonder at all. On the surface, everything looks fine, but has this graveyard been entirely pilfered and disgraced? what do you guys do? Ah, Steggy asked, do the tracks lead anywhere? We could follow the thieves. Roll investigation and try and see if you follow the footsteps.
Yikes, I do not.
Alright. +1, so 14.
Okay.
Yeah, yikes,
Good thing you guys
We're
got
not
that
rolling
14.
great.
Good thing you guys got that 14. Okay. So, you are able, with your 14 roll, to discern the following. It appears that whoever they were, they went from statue to statue, individually, one by one. And though they don't end in one particular place, there are multiple stops around the center of the sarcophagus, the feet facing inward, as if facing the coffin. There are more tracks that lead essentially all over this area. But the only ones that seem to return, they all come back to this semicircle standing around the casket.
Inward, right?
Inward, yes. And
So
indeed.
Crom would like to pop the top as he's been asked and like do a strength check.
All right. And so, as you guys are about to do this, the Wood Elf Barbarian asked the question, have they defiled the casket as well? And now it is the wonder, have all of the ancestral heirlooms of the great warriors, including especially this very center one, have they been taken? Prestonio, you approach the casket, and you intend to open it, and everyone else sees you doing this. Does anybody else have a reaction to them doing this, before I have you roll strength to move?
I'm going to give him a little bit of guidance.
Okay.
To my cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
That adds a 1d4 to his roll, so.
Aha. Very well. Do you need to do anything to cast that? It's a consensual
no.
attack, so I'm assuming there's no touch attack.
Yeah. It's just, you know.
All right.
I say I'm going to do it. It does it.
The ranger whispers words of incantation. Something that sometimes is a little strange to see dwarves doing in the wild, perhaps. And he projects a feeling of... And what spell is this you're doing again?
Guidance.
Guidance. You feel purposeful, Prestonio. You feel more confident in your ability to do what you're about to do. And you said you're going to attempt to open it, are you?
Yeah, Crom's gonna open the lid.
Okay. Roll strength. I don't know if this is a good idea, says the dwarf. We must make sure. Alright, 14, and that's, roll 1d4 and add to that now. Okay.
16.
And is that counting your strength?
Yep, 16 in total.
Okay. Prestonio, you may right-click the casket and open it.
Okay.
Oh, it actually said would like to open a sarcophagus.
Yeah, it's giving me permission.
I will grant it. The heavy stone slides away, and the first thing that you notice is how actually easy it is to be done. You notice, perhaps with horror, that the locks that kept the great ancestral treasures enclosed within have been smashed, picked, or cast aside. Inside, regaled in a doublet of faded, tattered black velvet, is the remains of Lord Adelbard Blame, who was called Lord Adelbard the Blameless during his life, for his blameless life that he had supposedly lived. He was supposed to have been buried with several riches as well. Roll perception to those who are looking in. Playerification. You notice, as everybody is reacting to what they are seeing within the casket, you notice that the Lord's left hand is missing entirely. Any of you who feel you have a good knowledge history, or would like to try, or knowledge nobility, perhaps, you may attempt to roll.
Of what race was the good lord?
The good lord was human.
I do not know.
Okay. Steggy and Hunter, the both of you. One second. You notice that underneath the lid of the casket, there is a tome stuffed up to one side.
I step up to the casket and pick up the tome to see if I can't identify anything further on it.
Okay. You reach into the casket and you pull it out, and it is a leather-bound book with several aged creases running along the front and back. The spine appears to be quite tattered as well. It appears that there also is it's one of those types of tomes where there would have been a lacking latch. A locking latch, sorry. On the front of it, although it appears that it has been tarnished either through time or something else and has been opened. The content's no longer secret. Chat's giving me shit for that lacking latch now.
I open the tome and check the pages.
All right, make a make a will saving throw. If we call it that any longer, you don't call it that in 5th, do they? Roll willpower.
It'd be a constitution.
Willpower? No.
Oh yeah, there's willpower checks, there's constitution checks, those saving throws.
All right. You may.
All right. +2.
+2. Okay. What are you both individually doing? Steggy's doing one thing. What are you doing, Hunter?
I'm trying to examine the book to see if I can't get any information out of it.
So Steggy's currently actually the one holding it. Right now. But you can examine it from the outside, too, while he's doing that.
Okay.
So, Stegs, you open the tome, and immediately dust flies off of the pages, and several pages just fall and slip out of the spine of the book. It appears to have been many years since this tome has actually been read or handled, and perhaps this might even be the last opportunity for somebody to even glean the information from it before it gets tattered away. What you are reading appears to be an incantation. Stegs, did you roll that? Did you make a will save yet? I didn't see if you rolled one.
No, I didn't know I was supposed to.
Weren't you the one that was reading the book before?
No, that was...
No. Yeah, I was asking him in character if the loose pages matched.
Okay, let me back up then. I'm sorry. Which one of you guys actually wanted to read the book? Was that Hunter? Or was
that would be Hunter, yeah.
Okay, I apologize. I thought you were reading it from the side. Okay. Let's back that up a bit then. So that description I just gave about the book opening and the dust and the stuff falling out of it, like that happens for you, Hunter. You are able to glean that this tome, though not knowing what it is, it certainly is magical in nature. You felt something the moment that you picked it up. What would you like to do with the book?
I'd like to see what's it, like I said, investigate it, read it, see if I can't understand what it's about.
Okay.
So that would be, what, investigation, or?
So you're trying to discern what this tome and what it has is for?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll... Yeah, you can roll that. Investigation. Arcana, religion, investigation. Yep, all those will work. Or could work, rather.
+1, so 14.
Okay. It's written in a language that you're not sure what it is. You're not entirely certain. You flip through the first page, and you do notice that the parchment is similar to the papers that you found throughout the graveyard. As a matter of fact, it looks like they were pulled directly from the tome. For whatever reason, who knows? Those bloody papers were from this book, the druid says.
Crum's gonna try and close this lid. This hero died a valiant death, and we don't want to mess him up anymore.
So whatever those parchments were, they were the selected texts that were extracted from the book. Prestonio would like to close a sarcophagus. Prestonio, you find it easily enough to do. You slide the stone tablet back over, sealing the Lord back within his rightful resting place. Staggy, what are you doing back here?
I was moving over here to see if I could find any more pages flittering around.
Ooh, roll perception. Woo! All right. One moment. Indeed. Indeed. You hear, or catch, you catch a glimpse with your elf eyes, over in the corner, a series of additional parchment papers that have collected in another pile of leaves. Yeah, more papers! He gleams. I'm assuming you're scooping them up? I scoopeth, he says. Very well. You pick them up and add them to your inventory. You may add book parchments 2 to your inventory. Do you read them? What do you do with them? Look.
I'd say I'd hand them off to Hunter, who's been collecting them.
All right. You approach Hunter with a fistful of new parchment papers in hand, and prepare to hand them over.
I see him handing those papers, and and offering them, and I take them and examine them.
Okay. He hands them to you, and one thing that you notice is that several of the images, the glyphs, the cosmic-looking calculations and incantations, the more visual ones, some of them that had missing pieces of the transmutation circles, appear to have the other side here.
Can you repeat that last part again? The wind.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry. You want me to try to turn the wind effect down a bit?
No. Oh, it just.
I can do that. All right. So as I was saying, some of the missing transmutation circle components and other parts of the mathematical equations that you seem to have had on the other pieces of paper continue onto this one. It does appear that some of the pieces of paper are twin to it.
Can I tell, am I able to discern, if there's other missing pages? That, you know.
Aha! Alright. Roll, will this be investigation for that?
Insight.
Insight? Okay, insight, yeah. Roll insight.
That's good. +5.
Okay. You believe that at this point in time, you're not sure if there's other parchment papers, but the ones that you do have certainly do connect. They are missing pieces. And as a matter of fact, because you rolled so high, you actually think that one of the inconsequential dusty pages of the tome that fell out actually connects with these ones. Perhaps whoever it was that was looking for this information had missed a page, and perhaps you found it. The dwarf suggests that they do another quick scan of the place and see if there's any more papers around. And it looks like he's going off to look himself. Meanwhile, our half-orc and wood-elf friends are on the western flank of the graveyard. Yeah, papers. Alright, Steggy, what was that roll for?
Look for more papers.
Steggy deftly leaps up onto the railing of the dark stone fencing and has himself a look with his elf eyes. Out and over. Okay. Prestonio... I'm just keeping track where you guys are. Steggy, from your vantage point, you notice that one of the fence post urns looks different. This one over here. I don't see how I can mark it for you. I guess I could. I could just move you to it, and you can move back. But this part right here, this on the corner, this like plumed-looking urn, appears far less dusty and less cracked than the other ones. Crom, come up here and see if you can move this urn. It looks far less dusty and cracked than the other ones. All right, gonna move on over to our druid and our ranger. See anything, dwarf? Let's find out. All right, we'll search.
That's a 23.
All right, you come across the tombstone of Pastor Rightrain. Pastor Rightrain was, in fact, a druid as well, of human birth, who had a humble responsibility, but was much celebrated for bringing beneficial rain showers to the harvest lands in an otherwise dry climate, which was this province. If it wasn't for them, perhaps they would not have been able to transform their province into the agricultural staple that they are today. The grave, don't see anything weird. Mm-hmm. Alright, back over here with Prestonio. So Crom walks on over and approaches the urn. What do you guys do?
The elf has said that this looks undusty much to try and turn it, so Crom's going to get his hands on either side of it and give it a good tug.
Did you say tug, or did you say turn or tug first?
Twist it.
Okay. Roll strength. Okay. You twist the urn. It doesn't remove from the place, but you hear behind you, along the fence line, a sharp click, as if something had just moved or unlocked. Over here, Druid and Ranger, both of you, roll perception. And no, Crom, you do not believe you broke it, but you definitely are sure something happened.
19.
That's a 5.
Okay. Hunter, you hear, coming from, and I'm going to teleport you briefly, you can move back right after, just so, because I don't know all the tools.
Alright.
This urn that's right here. Did I grab the right one? Did I grab the right person?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This urn made a clicking noise after whatever the, Steggy and Prestonio were just doing. They were finagling with an urn, they twisted it, and a large click is heard over here, and you swear that you see the lid of this urn is slightly off now. A noise from this urn.
Well, I suppose let's check it out.
Alright, the party grows together and comes together around this urn. Which one of you, will do something?
I will.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll investigate the urn.
Alright, what do you do?
I would like to remove the top that appears to be ajar and peek inside.
Okay. You don't need to roll for that, because it just happens. It does seem that unlike the other urns, this one is not a statue, although it is made of the same materials. It is not fixed, from the top at least. The lid slides off easily, and you can see that there is some sort of locking mechanism. The ravens are watching you all very intently with their beady red eyes, as you all gather around in your respective torchlight around this urn. Peeking inside... Yes?
Can I do a nature check on the ravens?
Certainly.
Since we notice.
Mhm.
Alright. God, I know I asked this earlier. How do you bring up the dice? Oh, spacebar, that's right. 3, so 19.
Okay. You know that ravens are particularly smart creatures, and oftentimes they get a bad rap for being harbingers of ill intent. Regardless of that, and though you have seen a superstition or two here or there, you do feel that the ravens are taking a particular interest in you. Now, you do know that the ravens do stand vigil over this graveyard, but they're all watching you, very quietly, with those red, beady eyes. Chad, I apologize for not being interactive with you guys. I'm focusing on our table group for this, so like I would be answering your questions right now. We're just kind of trying to stay on task, but I appreciate you all. Inside the urn is a single piece of parchment paper. Not entirely different from the ones you've already collected.
I will reach in to remove the paper from the urn.
All right. You reach your fingers into the urn, and you grasp at the parchment paper. This piece of parchment paper, however, bears similar runes, incantations, glyphs, and mathematical equations, but the parchment paper is far newer. It is not aged. It looks quite fresh, as a matter of fact. It is, in fact, perhaps the freshest thing in this entire graveyard. It is a strange, stark piece of newness. Crisp parchment in an aged graveyard. Now that you guys have this piece of parchment paper, what do you do?
This is very recent, says Jester.
I don't recall who has the book, but I would like to pass the page to who has the book.
Yes, who has what? Who here has what?
That would be me.
Perfect.
I take the paper and look it over.
Okay. 1 second. This is going to take me a moment here. You place down all of the things that you have found so far. The pages, the tomes, the parchment papers. You begin to shift them around. Roll, investigation.
I will attempt to assist my boy in his investigation.
Oh. +1 investigation.
Okay. The page is scattered. Is Hunter, you the only one that's doing it?
I'm trying to help him investigate as well.
Okay, do your own
I'm sending
independent
him
investigation rather than an assist in this particular case.
Okay.
And I will give him guidance.
Okay.
So 2 and 8 is 10, plus 1 from my investigation is 11 total.
All right. You begin to spread the papers out, trying to find a missing link. And indeed, it seems to be that the piece of paper that was found in that urn is the one that brings them all together. You're able to find out that several of these pages are in fact not important at all. It's when you isolate several of them, you come down to 3 pieces of paper. One from the coffin that fell from the book, one from the urn, and the first one that was found in the crumpled piles of leaves. It appears to be one clean string with a transmutation in the very middle of it, with the words hanging off of either side of the paper. Bringing all three of them together forms a single line of text with the large transmutation in the middle. What do you do? We don't know what it is, but I think we completed it, he says. What are you doing with the papers as you have these three pieces?
I'm trying to. Well, I try to discern if there's use for them around here, so, or if I
Okay.
can tie them to anything around here.
Roll Knowledge Arcana.
I guess. +1, so 17.
Okay, and you're holding the papers currently?
Yes.
Okay. You're trying to make sense of it, and you feel you're right on the cusp of it. You recognize this language somehow. It just looks so familiar. You rearrange the papers here and there, and it seems as if you've got everything lined up. But then you realize what this is. You realize that these runes are inscribed in reverse. Quite literally, the ink bleeding through to the other side. It looked just like blotched at the beginning, but as you turn the papers over and bring them back together, you notice that the first page of words begins to softly glow, a blue, silverine light. As the pages come together, they connect, and almost like silver water running within the mold of a blacksmith. It begins to, fire in this case. It begins to fill up through the runes, and before long, you are holding the three pieces of paper, and there is what appears to be a misty, moon-like appearance to these runes that have illuminated. Now, what are you doing, Hunter?
You said there's a misty moonlight appearance, or is the moon affecting it?
Like you rolled Knowledge Arcana, right?
Yes.
Yes, you have discovered that the runes appear to be somewhat reacting to the moon as well.
Now, can I read the runes?
You can try. Roll Knowledge Arcana again. Again, it doesn't.
Okay.
It looks like a strange language to you.
Huh. Or
Okay. Hunter. Make a willpower saving throw with disadvantage.
six plus 2, so 8, and then a disadvantage, whatever that is.
So
You
this
roll-
constitutes-
So you're
two
gonna roll
dice.
2d20 and take the lowest one. In this one.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Ha!
Oof. Oof. Okay. Alright. Now keep in mind, I'm still getting used to all of this stuff, so...
Hey, it's my first time D&Ding, so...
Oh, is it really? You're doing wonderful. Hunter, you begin looking at the parchment paper, and you're focusing on the words as they glow softly in the moonlight. You don't know what the language is saying. Like, you don't understand it, but it's so familiar. And then you start to read it out loud. And you seem unable to stop. And you also don't seem to be able to say anything else. You just begin to read out loud. Now, our dwarf ranger friend, you may roll perception.
That is an 8.
Okay. It just sounds like he's just reading the words to you. Like he's deciphering the language. Hunter, you continue to read. And as you finish reading each word, or what seems to be a word, the runes glow a little bit darker, and yet they still glow, as if shadows are being illuminated across the parchment. And soon, the papers themselves begin to reveal more information. On the outlying areas around the incantations, lines of copper begin to appear, lancing from the edges, as if there was a secret blood rune underneath. Again, though, you do not seem to be able to say anything about this, as you continue to speak the words that are written on the parchment. And chat, yes, the music did change for everybody else. Everybody's hearing and seeing everything that I'm doing here. By now, I would say that the entire party is certainly hearing what Hunter is speaking.
I'm gonna not attack him, just kind of slap him to try to snap him out.
As he is speaking the words, you begin to notice that the very moon itself begins to turn a soft shade of red. And the very area around you in the graveyard begins to lose its very color, as if the very life of the graveyard, of which is only yours, is beginning to fade. The torchlight from the statues abroad look malevolent, like burning coals. Alright, so King Steggy is going to attempt to attack Hunter. You may do so. Make a attack roll. How do you attack him, Steggy? What do you do?
I just slap him in the face.
What's your armor class? I would probably say you're prone anyways in this case. I'll say yeah, you can make an unarmed strike against him.
If he's prone, then that's advantage. So 12 is top.
12 is the top. Okay. You may make an unarmed strike, which I believe is 1d4 halved in... Well, maybe it was an older edition. It's non-lethal.
Yeah.
Chat, maybe you can help me with this. Is a non-proficient unarmed strike just 1d4?
Yes, halved. Still.
It's not, or is it like D3 or D2? Alright, well you gave him about as light of a tap as you could on that one anyways. Oh, 5th edition is just 1 damage plus dex or strength. Wow, okay. So what's your strength or dex? Whichever one you would prefer to use?
I'll just use strength, so 2 damage total.
Okay. Let's, first of all, move you into that space there. And let's see. Hunter, you may make another saving throw at disadvantage. So roll 2d20. Take the lowest two. Okay.
So 6 and 7
You
plus 2. Yeah.
Alright. Hunter, you're not entirely sure what's going on. You feel paralyzed on the spot as you continue to read. You notice Stegolas arrives on your right side, looking concerned. And before you know it, you feel the sharp sting of flesh on flesh as he slaps you across your bearded face. The sting and the welt that might be left underneath seems to not faze you one bit, and you continue to recite and ramble off the words on the page without any interruption. The dwarf begins to lose his resolve and begins to run. At this point in time, Hunter's eyes begin to crackle with a blue energy. His eyes beginning to fill up like water filling a container before his very pupils are gone, leaving nothing but a spiritual-looking light gleaming in his eyes like lanterns.
Can Crom just take the book off him?
You can attempt to. You can attempt to do so. But while you're doing that, all of the other parchment pages, all of the other ones begin to rise into... Can you just actually see me actually moving these, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
See them disappear. See them disappear.
They disappear. Ah. What about now? No. Johnny, I want the ability to have the viewers see what I am picking up. Alright, well the parchments begin to fly away from the location. The wind suddenly beginning to kick up. The wind in your hair catching, sending it flying. And soon the actual parchments themselves lift from the ground and begin to spiral away before settling at the front of the cobblestone path where you all began your journey. You may attempt to grab the book from Hunter, although at this time, Hunter, you slowly begin to walk your way, following the parchments as you move. The very parchments themselves, a tornado about you, some of them even gashing you with paper cuts, as your beard and hair flows in a wild hurricane of wind.
That's towards the front of the thing.
Yep, that's the way. Give me that book, he says. You hear him, but you cannot comply. Prestonia, what do you do?
Crom takes it from him forcefully.
Crom attempts to grab the book by force. You may roll strength. Oof. Oof, alright. You wrench the book away from him. You wrench the book away from him, leaving Hunter with only a few of the pieces of paper that he was previously reading. And yet he still continues to chant and walk forward, the very book itself in your hands now, no longer in his grip. All right, tackle him, Crom, says the wood elf. Crom, you begin to run as Hunter steps into the middle of all of the cobblestone and turns to face the sarcophagus.
I hit him full ball on that.
All right, you may approach him and attempt to make an attack roll. Oof. Okay. What's your armor class, Hunter?
15.
Pretty sure that hits. All right. What kind of attack are you doing, Prestonio?
Take now. Just rugby, shoulder tackle, bringing him to the floor.
So you're gonna do like an unarmed strike or a grapple or?
Grapple and drag him down.
Okay. Is grappling different in 5th edition than 3.5, chat?
Grapple in 5th means you can't move anywhere. You're not, like, physically restrained.
Yeah, I know, but like, what is it? Is it a strength check? Is it a grapple roll?
Yeah, it's a contested strength check.
Okay, so, Crom, you may roll strength. I believe you can also use acrobatics, chat is saying too, if it's higher than your strength.
Oh yeah, so 10 plus 6 on the acrobatics. No, my strength is my athletics.
Okay. Hunter, you are not able to oppose or resist him, and Crom, you grab him in a restraining grapple, and you still hear his voice calling out the incantations, speaking in this language that none of you understand, as he stands before the altar. Let me see. Oh, I guess I can... Are you guys hearing when I change the music here, or not yet? Because I haven't hit apply yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. As Hunter continues to chant, while in the grip of Crom, who seems unable to bring him down but has him restrained, the very energies around this place begin to flicker and change.
Cool. So, Crom is gonna try to drag him back and away from where he was trying to go.
It gets darker and darker, the more words that are spilling from his lips. Until finally, an ear-splitting cackle begins to rip itself from the mouth of Hunter, as what appears to be a transgression of soul energy spewing forth from his mouth, not entirely unlike the chat bubbles. Like a spectral apparition, it lances up and begins to form above this Middle Knight statue. A ghastly howl is heard on the wind. Yes, 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 you hear as a thundering crack, and soon Hunter falls to their knees as a being appears standing above you. A ghastly skeletal figure with a dim green flame in his hands. At this point in time, everybody must cease moving freely, and we will assume initiative order. The skeletal figure, with torn yet resplendent robes, looms above you with a staff wielded in one hand, and you can see with his lifeless eyes as he stares down. Finally, who is it that roused me from my slumber?
7 initiative for me.
All right. Yes, everybody, you may roll initiative.
We can't see it in the game, just so you know. The creature.
Oh, you can't?
No.
What about now? No? Not seeing him yet?
Don't think so.
Well, I'm sorry. 1 second. Because you were able to see everything else just fine. Are you just not seeing it? He's standing literally on top of the...
Yeah, I can see it in the stream, but it's not in the same place in the game.
What about now?
Not yet.
Nothing.
Nope.
Maybe
Huh.
bring the lighting up just a second.
It shouldn't be that.
Maybe.
Swing tools. What did that? Did that do anything? Oh, wait. There we go. Did that work?
Nope.
No?
Yeah,
He's not there?
see it.
Not yet. There was a bit of delay in the past though, so it might still be.
I'm looking for the hide and unhide commands. Reveal. What about now? My tension!
No, don't see anything.
Can you
When you picked him up before,
Yeah.
there it is.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he
There
is.
he is. Okay, so apparently it's got to be an exploration mode, even though turn-based mode had it there. Alright, so. Initiatives. What are your totals, chat?
Probably go one at a time here, huh?
No. I
21.
Add everyone first, Henry, and then you can move people around on the list.
Okay. So order will go. Where is everybody? I'm not seeing everybody.
Click on your cog first. Between your
No, I
previous-
know. So it's just this. Clicking on you, followed by Jester. Are you the Wood Elf Barbarian?
I rolled a 16. No, I'm the dwarf ranger.
Okay.
Play
So,
JZ, what else?
Stegs and player justification. Did you guys tie?
Yep.
Okay, reroll.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Steggy, who I do not see. Where is Steggy?
I'm over here. Put the torch on.
Oh, there you are. Ah, I see.
Aha, yeah, wiggling.
There you go. All right, Steggy, you're second. Followed by player justification. Player, which one are you again? Sorry. You the Wood Elf Barbarian? Okay, thank you. Good way of identifying yourselves. Okay, which means that, so depending on how that goes, we got Jester, we got Hunter, we got the Lich, and it's actually a surprise, not really a surprise round, but the Lich has the first initiative for this one, as he appears. Okay.
Ooh boy.
You! He points down to Hunter with his ghostly flame and wreathed hand. You have freed me. Thank you for your services. And he extends that outstretched hand, and you begin to feel your life force begin to drain away from you. Let's see. Hunter, make a will saving throw. Seven. You have failed. Hunter, you turn in the grip of Prestonio and stare him in the eyes and begin to grapple him back, feeling as if your very limbs are betraying you. And the Lich begins to chant in a ghostly tune. All right. Prestonio, you're next.
So Grom's, he's got this little fella in his hand, right, and he's trying to fight Grom. So Grom's just gonna headbutt him to stop him fighting.
You no fight Grom! Get a hold of yourself! And you go for a headbutt. All right, you may make an attack. And we also clean up these dice while I'm at it.
10.
10? All right. Well, that doesn't break his armor class, so you failed to do so. I don't know if there's any other actions you can currently take.
No.
All right, Steggy, your turn.
I'm gonna shoot the Lich.
Gonna shoot the Lich. All right. Let's make a ranged attack. Ooh, my goodness gracious. It's a bow attack?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to describe your shot?
Oh, I just start plugging away at it. It's non-magical though, so 10 damage piercing.
Okay. Over here. Steggy watches from their vantage point and notices the lich up on high. Arrows quickly as a thunderstrike. Put into notch position and let loose. The rest of the party hears the twang of the elven bow as an arrow is sent streaking through the night and strikes the lich in the chest. He hisses for a moment, seemingly affected by it. Go ahead and this is a 10 damage.
10 damage.
Thank you. Plagiarification, your turn.
I can't even see the lich on my game.
Yeah, he's very dark. He's up on up on top of the archway.
What was that plagiarification?
No, sorry. I'm gonna move over the papers to this side.
Yep.
And take a shot with my short bow at the lich.
Okay, you may do so. All right, well, that hits. You may roll damage.
Alrighty. Seven piercing.
So I wasn't sure if the lighting was correct in chat. Just told me you guys may have been still in the dark.
That is so much better. We can see now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I meant to send that to you earlier, so I apologize. It was supposed to be like that for a little bit, like since the start of this part here. Also, I just lost my Twitch chat, so 1 second, chat. Get back to you. Okay. We got that. There we go. Also, we will do that and bring back the regular colors for this, as this is happening. All right. Several dice is floating in the ocean. Yeah, that'll happen. Picking up your mess. Okay. What was the action that just happened, guys? I'm sorry. Short bow attack?
Yes.
All right, and 7 damage.
Correct.
Okay. Not to be outdone by your high, fair elven counterpart, your cousin over there to your right, you pull out a short bow of your own make, and skillfully notch an arrow, and send it flying right through the heart. This one sinks into the chest, and again, the lich seems angered by your annoying attack. So do. Okay. There we are. Sorry, getting back to chat over here. And Jester, it's your turn.
I will also be attempting to take a shot at Mr. Lich.
Okay. A lot of ranged firepower here.
Oh yeah, so that's a 21 total for me.
Hit, roll. Roll damage.
That's going to be 6 piercing,
Okay.
at which point I will cower around the corner like a scaredy cat.
Okay.
And that should
Is
be
this a
it for me.
crossbow or is it a bow?
It's a longbow.
It's a long bow. The dwarf pulls out a bow that's as big as he is. Notches a sizably heavy-looking arrow and sends it up range. Now the lich stands there, seemingly unfazed, but with 3 arrows sticking out of their chest. Hunter, it is your turn. You may make a will saving throw. You are currently being grappled.
Five.
All right. You must perform a defensive action against Prestonio. What do you choose to do?
I guess I try and break his grapple.
All right. Make an opposing strength check. And Prestonio, you feel him trying to break your grip on him currently.
$17.
Yep, that beats my armor class.
All right. Did you do an opposed strength roll too, Prestonio?
I didn't. 1 second. Oh, strength roll, and I get a 13.
Okay. It seems that Hunter is imbued with an unnatural strength, and you're finding it really hard to break the druid's grip. His silver beard and age beguiles a very different entity that you're seeing before you. You can feel his muscles straining with an unholy energy that he himself once did not possess. We move on to the Lich. It begins to darken again as the Lich continues to cast his incantations from on high. All right. We pass the turn to Prestonio. Prestonio, what do you do?
I need to get Hunter back to his senses. So Grom, he's gonna have to go again and go for another headbutt.
Another headbutt!
He's showing the old up he is.
All right, Crom. Attempt to headbutt him again. Again. It seems that this grapple may have been the worst decision that you could have made with his newfound strength. You're unable to damage him and find yourself now even being grappled back. All right.
Grom is very not used to this. Grom is.
Feel free to also do roleplay stuff too, guys, as you want at the bubbles or talking to. Staggy, you're back up.
Alright, I'm gonna move over to this corner a little bit and shoot him again.
Okay.
$17.
17. That will hit. Roll damage.
11 damage.
11 damage. Very nice. Okay.
And I'm not a rogue, so I don't have bonus action to hide. But can I hide?
Describe what you're gonna do? Or are you just gonna hunker down in the darkness over there?
Yeah, kind of a lot of the actions happening, like...
Sure, let's have both you and... Let's have you and the Dwarf Ranger roll hide, because you both sound like that's what you're trying to do.
Yes, correct.
Yep, let's see it.
That is a 9 for me.
Okay. You hunker down and put your shoulder to the stone griffin bust that is to the side of you, and you're watching what's happening as Crom and Hunter continue to grapple before this lich that stands on high. Stegs, you hunker down as well, pulling yourself almost in line with the narrow railings of the fence, trying to blend in with the darkness. Player Jiffication, it is your turn. pedestal? Is it a pedestal though? Because it's not. It's not an individual thing. Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna slowly advance past the grapple buddies. And
Okay,
another
as you try to do so, Hunter, you make an attack of opportunity to attempt to grapple the wood elf. Both of you oppose strength checks.
Two.
Okay.
I rolled a nat one.
Oh no. Okay. Well, so Personio rolled a nat 1, but what did Plagiarification roll?
7.
Rolled a 7. Okay. You step through and you see Hunter immediately try to grab you by your armor, but you're able to step past him. He doesn't do anything else but still try to grapple Prestonio. Now, chat, question. If you get drawn into that, that is technically like an attack of opportunity of sorts. It doesn't cause them to have any more of their turn impacted, correct?
Only if he leaves the area around Hunter.
Oh, so if he tries to leave the square now.
Right.
Okay.
Going into it, he's fine, but if he leaves, then it's an attack of opportunity.
Okay. So, what do you do now that you've stepped past? Well, not stepped past, you're still within the threatened... He's still actively trying to reach for you, but you have ducked under his arm.
Take another short bow shot at the Lich.
Okay. All right. Dodging the flailing arms of the druid, you knock another bow and send it flying. Does that provoke an attack of opportunity? A ranged attack in a threatened square at another enemy?
If he weren't grappled, I'd say yeah.
You can grapple multiple people. I would say he attempts to grapple you again. Do it, Hunter. All right, roll.
16. And
now roll for you over there.
My God, Chrome is very impressed by all these very strong people.
Very strong, I know, right? Exactly. Plagiarification, you are able to resist the grapple. Just put a palm in his face and shove him a little bit further down onto the stairs. But the distraction apparently did cost you a bit, as you notice that the arrow that you fired from your short bow seemed to zing right through the fire in his hand, and you see it spiraling off over the ocean, with a dim green light now affixed to the shaft and arrows and feathers. Jester, you're currently hiding. What are you doing?
Oh Lord, I will be trying to sneak over here a little bit.
Okay.
And for some reason, I'm going to try to climb up here.
All right. It is taller than you, so let's make an athletics check. Oop.
Yikes.
Well, what's your total though? Like skill checks are not necessarily nat 1 prone.
My total is 2.
Oh, okay. You are having a very difficult time pulling yourself up. Your cloak is getting stuck on the rocks underneath. You're finding that you know the rock is remarkably smooth, and your armor's a little bit heavier than you thought, and you don't make any progress climbing up there.
Then I will sweat a little bit and end my turn.
Okay. Hunter, make a saving throw. Will saving throw.
11.
All right. You find yourself shaking your head, and a little bit of your vision returns to you, and you're finally able to stop chanting the spell. and you find yourself in the arms of Prestodio, who is grappling you voraciously, and you seem to be in the fight of your life, and strangely enough, you seem to be out-wrestling the half-orc as well. In doing so, you are coming to your own now, though, and you will be able to act on your next turn. Alright. Fools! The Lich begins to brood down from his high stature, and you notice that as Hunter finishes his words of incantation, that the Lich too has stopped speaking his, and the very ground begins to tremble. And up from the ground, let me see. Up from the ground, you feel the very, very soil begin to churn as a disgusting, fetid noise begins to reach your ears, the howls and gasps of the living dead, as heroes begin to stir from their graves, as well as patrons, and those who are able, in their life, do enough good deeds, so as to earn the favor to be buried in such a place. Can you guys see what I just put down?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
He cackles and then looks down, and he sees that the dwarf that is trying to hide far off in the distance still has their lantern on. And you notice ghostly eyes tracking you now, and he points a finger your way. And a beam of light extends from his outstretched hand and blasts you with necrotic energies. Make yourself a Constitution save.
That is a 10 total.
A 10? All right.
Yes. Oh no, sorry, an 8.
An 8. You said?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, that's right.
I'm going to do this then. Disregard that roll. That's not correct. I grabbed the wrong die. All right. You take 3 damage. 3 damage. As you are bathed in these necrotic energies, and you are feeling your very life get sapped. Yes. I am renewed. The Lich rasps from up on top. As you notice that this beam seems to be transferring energy, and you notice that the very tips of your beard begin to go gray. As the Lich begins to siphon some sort of energy from you. The skeletons also begin to move and shamble into position to attack and defend their lord, having seemingly allowed Hunter the perfect time to puppet themselves into allowing this summon to go through. Alright, now over here though, this zombie is going... Oh, I need to add them to initiative order. Well, do I do that? I guess I could. They're his familiars. Do they act on his turn, or do I give them their own encounter for this? I suppose I could give them their own encounter for this. Yeah.
You want them in.
What was that?
Can you add them into the current?
I can. I'm just trying to think of if you're supposed to or not. Like, they go on the... I'll add them as individual encounters, though, for this part.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Apply turn order. Alright. So the Lich summoned his undead that turn. Skeleton Warrior 1, which is right here. He attempts to attack you, the Wood Elf Barbarian, with a rusty sword. He approaches you. You hear the bones clattering. You see that this is indeed what appears to be a walking patron, perhaps one of the defenders of these very graves. A notched rusty sword in hand, they shamble towards you and wield it wildly. Makes an attack against you. What's your armor class?
15.
See a 15. All right. It comes in with the attack, and you're able to get your short bow up and block it just in time. The metal inlaid on the wood clacks and sparks as the skeleton finds it difficult to chew through. He is unable to break your armor class as a result. Moving on to the next skeleton. This skeleton also attempts to attack you, finding you preoccupied with the other one. Makes an attack, and what's your AC again?
15.
15. It comes in with another slashing attack, and it does not successfully hit you. The blade comes in. You don't even see it coming. But as you're locked with the other one with bow in hand, you swoop your hair backwards and limbo down, and the blade passes, just barely grazing a few hairs that fall to the ground like sanguine tendrils. You are unharmed.
I don't want to rules lawyer you, but
What?
in this condition, the skeletons would have advantage since they're both flanking.
Is there flanking? All right. I will allow my description to stand just to keep things flowing. I appreciate, though. That is not something that I knew. I will keep that in mind for future references. Now, I guess another question is that a passive that even things that are brainless and undead can benefit from that? You don't need to be sentient to know that that is a
Correct.
tactic? Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. All right. Next, we have this zombie. As it lurches near, a terrible, fetid smell fills your nostrils. Burning sulfur, dung, everything, rotten flesh. And there, a shambling remain, his pockmarked and shriveled body lurches forward. You can tell that perhaps there was a wound on this one in its previous life. It walks with a limp as greasy, sinewy flesh sloughs off with every step, leaving a moist footprint with every step when there is no rain to be had. It shambles up behind you, Prestonio, and attempts to bite you. What's your armor class?
15.
15? Alright.
Correct.
It grabs you by your shoulders, and you can feel the pressure as it sinks its teeth into your armor. You feel the very pressure of the bite. Uncaring, mindless, without care for its own safety. You are unharmed, but you feel and hear the teeth crack and crunch as it attempts to bite through your armor. The teeth beginning to wear down to jagged little strands. A zombie over here now. You know what? I'm gonna see if it notices you, Steggy. What'd you roll for your hide check? Let me go over here. Ooh, I can't seem to roll back the oh, there we go. Okay.
10.
Okay, thank you. Roll to 10. It's not letting me roll that die. What's your die? It rolls a... uses the necromancer... Okay. Your hiding spot seems to do just fine, for despite clawing its way up to the surface in front of you, the undead begins to shamble its way towards the rest of the melee. Lifeless, and yet living all the same. It approaches. And we'll say, with advantage, will attempt to flake What's your AC again? What was it again? Okay. The other zombie joins the other one, and now you find yourself accosted on all sides. You put on the back foot, shoving your palm up under its chin as it tries to bite you, its teeth gnashing, biting maniacally, without care again like some rabid, wild animal. You hear the teeth all around you as they are clashing and clacking so hard that they are indeed breaking under their own bites. Prestonio, it is now your turn.
Well, I'll be using a bonus action and I'm going to rage.
Throwing himself into a barbarian rage. Very well.
Crom will turn around and he'll see the zombie that is. He's right there. Crom, he has to swing. So going from low to high, aiming between the chest.
Okay.
It's a big swing.
Roll. All right. And Crom's had enough. Crom looks to the zombies and goes, "No!" The veins begin to bulge on his neck as he begins to summon the Wa within him. Indeed, he flies into a fit of rage, his very muscles beginning to bulge and bulge and bulge upon one another, the very veins lancing down his body, filled with life-giving oxygen.
Natural 20.
And he rolls a natural 20. All right, you may roll attack.
How do crits work on this now? Is it 2d12 plus 4 or is it d12 plus 4 plus 4?
Say that again?
How do crits work?
It was double damage before, but I think you just roll damage twice now, don't you, chat?
Double the dice, not the modifier, so it's 2d12.
Double the dice, not the modifier. Oh, so if you have +3, like for strength, you don't get 6 damage on a crit? Double dice. Okay, roll double dice.
It's 2d12 plus 6, because I have raged.
Yep. And yes, chat, they are hearing the metal music too.
15 damage?
15 damage. All right. And you're attacking with what weapon?
Great axe.
A great axe. You wield the axe high above your head, and you bring it down right on the... Wait, did you say you were aiming low first?
Yeah, aiming low to high.
Okay, never mind. You bring your axe around with a swinging arc, and at first the blade comes into contact with the side of the knee. The left knee, meniscus, cap give way to blade. And the zombie is suddenly thrown off balance as the leg lops clean off and goes spiraling off into the side and lands with a sickening flop against one of the tombstones. It's already on its way down to a fall, but your blade is already on the way up and you meet it halfway. Chest, neck, head split like an open V. A beautiful flower blooming with blood. As the sludge and bile of rotten carcass begins to fall away, the zombie looks at you, unpained but reasonably horrified, as his shoulder slumps off. It is now divided into 3 pieces, falling at your feet, rasping, seemingly put down. Steggy, it is now your turn.
Which one is dead?
This one.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to knock another arrow and go for the zombie that's also engaged next to Crawl.
Okay. Wait, I actually did not hear that last part. Can you repeat that one more time?
The one next to Crawl.
Okay.
Okay. Nine.
All right. You pull back another bow, and you see that Crom is being accosted by the zombies. You let the arrow fly, and we see our perspective zoom in on your hands as you pull the arrow back, and the notch, the feathers of the arrow right in the camera's face, and then like a Skyrim stealth archer, you see the arrow spiral through the air like a perfect football. And then it sinks into the side of the head of the zombie, or inside of the mouth rather, puncturing through cheek, busting out the other side, leaving a tooth to go flying with it. Prestonia, you get blood from the zombie over you, the black brackish fluid coating your face and cheek and armor. As you see that there is an arrowhead sticking out of the nose and other side cheekbone of this zombie, but is otherwise unharmed. Prestonia, it is now your turn! Wait, did I do the wrong order before?
Yeah, you went the wrong way.
Oops, it's Hunter's turn, sorry. So that crit shouldn't have happened, but I'm not going to rob you of that. Hunter, you've come to your senses for the first time this entire encounter. What do you do?
Okay. Oh. I move on top of the coffin.
Okay. The Lich watches you with great interest. You feel you have his attention.
And I cast Thunderwave.
Thunderwave, very well. Is there a saving throw for that?
Con.
Okay.
To all creatures within 15.
Oof. That's bigger than it seems.
Yeah. So that's a 2d8.
So you're attacking everybody, or so you're gonna hit the skeletons too?
Everybody, yeah, everybody within 15 feet, and
does that hit Prestonio as well, or does it only hit our Wood Elf friend?
It's out of range of Prestonio, but it's in range of
everything else.
player.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will roll some saving throws. Saving throw for half damage, or what?
Saving throw for half damage, yes.
Okay. You may roll damage 3 times. Or is it 1 damage for everything split?
It's
1 damage for
2d8 for everything.
Oh wow! So you don't target them individually. They all get it's all one roll.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
That's that. And everything gets pushed 10 feet as well.
Everything gets... Yep. Okay. So... Let's see. You stand above, on the casket, your very wits about you once more. You raise your staff and begin to call upon nature to aid you. The very winds begin to kick up as you do so. Your fingers begin to crackle with thunder as you whisper potent words of incantation, and then throwing your hands out to the side, you finish your spell, and a cacophony of great noise lances about you, as rays of lightning also spray like lashing whips all about. It is wild in nature, and the skeletons are struck. One of them hisses to the side and is blasted backwards, smashing against the wall, although it is intact. It has smashed and lost an arm, losing its shield, and hobbling and staggering to the side. It pushes itself off, and you can see that further damage even shows that it's missing part of its jaw now. The other one cast to the side too, also crumpled into a heap, losing many bones in the process. Bone dust splintering as the dusty marrow is cooked within its bony body. Oh, actually, wait, disregard that one. This guy actually is still here. He's holding on. The Lich, however, is struck and falls from sight. Blasted back by the energies. and you see him physically fall, as if the rug was pulled out from underneath him. The last thing you see, his feet, his ironclad feet, as they kick up and fall behind. All right. Player Edification, did you make a saving throw as well?
Yep, rolled an 18.
Okay, and is that still half damage, though? It's not no damage, right?
Yeah, it's half.
All right, so you take 5?
3.
3, okay.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you did, wait, I thought you did 11 damage.
I rolled... No. I rolled a 2d8, which was higher up. It was 6
Oh,
total.
I'm sorry. This thing actually isn't even scrolling for me anymore. Is 6 the damage you did?
Yeah, 6.
I apologize. I spoke to... Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just they're not quite as damaged as I had said they were. But they're still damaged. They're just not as badly damaged. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put this person back here. Let me delete some of these dice. Okay. Alright, so damage is dealt. And we have player Edification. It is now your turn.
Alrighty, not to be outdone by Crom's mighty rage, I will throw down my short bow and rage myself.
Very well. You do so. Casting aside your bow as you're surrounded by the undead, which are already righting themselves. The one that got smashed into the wall picks up his jaw off the floor, sockets it back onto its mouth, and gives himself a ring, and his head literally spins exorcist style before clacking into place. He looks real mad. If a skeleton could give expressions, he's already on his way back over to you. What else can you do after throwing yourself into a rage?
Rage is bonus action, so I can do an attack action as well. Which
Okay.
I will use to swing my glaive at the skeleton right in front of me.
What was that? Which target are you picking?
Yes, that one.
Okay.
Yes, this one.
Yep. Did you do damage? Sorry, I didn't have the thing up. Or make your attack roll, rather. Sorry.
17.
17. That is a hit. You may roll damage.
Seven damage in total.
Okay. Would you... And what is your weapon that you're attacking with?
A glaive.
A glaive. One-handed or two-handed?
Two-handed.
All right. Good. Good. All right. Casting your bow aside with a finesseful flourish, you spin your glaive into an equipped state. As the other skeleton returns from its shocking encounter, you raise it up and jam the glaive up under the ribs and slice sideways, and you see one of the lower floating ribs shear off as it goes. The skeleton shambles back, and part of its hip is also shorn off in the process. Let's see. Okay. This skeleton, actually, after that, seems to have its binding impacted, and you see it kind of like stuttering and shaking, and eventually begins to fall apart right before your very eyes. The very strike, smashing it to smithereens, and it crumbles at your feet. Well done. Well done. All right. Did I go out of order on this thing?
I think I'm next.
Yeah.
Or did it auto-adjust? Because now it's saying zombie is next, but I don't see player Edification on this. Which... Jester should be next. Because Staggy already shot this turn, right?
Yep.
Okay. Jester, what are you doing?
I am pitifully going to attempt to climb this again.
All right, you do. That time
I
you
think
do.
I got it that time.
All right, lad, get up there, you say. And you grab the
agree.
top, and with renowned strength, you pull yourself up and are standing squat on the railing. What do you do?
From my new vantage point, I will shoot an arrow at the zombie bothering my big boy Crom.
Okay. Go for it.
That is a 21 to hit.
21 hit. That hits.
Then it will deal 5 piercing damage.
Okay. Crom, you're still battling with this zombie right now, and another arrow whizzes right over your shoulder and sinks into the eye socket of the zombie before you. Its head snaps back, and for a moment you think it's about to fall. Then it looks at you. One of its eyes popped and oozing down its cheek, where flesh is already missing from where mice had been gnawing in the grave. He begins to walk towards you, the feather of the arrow bobbing with every step as he attempts to re-engage. Okay, so it says Hunter on here next, but that is actually...
Actually, it should be a Lich. I think I went out of turn.
Went out of turn? Okay.
Yeah.
So we move on to the Lich.
Sorry, Jack.
No, it's okay.
Players,
Perfectly.
Underneath the order, once you've completed your turn, there is a button there that says complete turn.
Oh, I never noticed that one. Okay.
That's why you won't see it, and because it's only for the players. So when it becomes your turn, you'll see there is a button underneath the initiative order that says complete turn.
Yep.
So once you've finished, if you hit that, it'll then move on to the next player automatically.
Okay. Gotcha. 1 second. Just checking out a DM tool here. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's not right. It's this one. Sorry, guys. 1 second again.
All good.
Okay. All right. You're all engaged with the undead. The sounds of battle swirling about you. Which, speaking of which, there probably is. Nope, there isn't. Thought there would have been a... There we go. Okay, so, you're all engaged in your current battles, hearing the cries of the undead rasp as you send them once more to the grave. Insolent. Wretches! You hear in a booming voice, you will all kneel! And the ground begins to shake, as from behind you, you notice a very large bony hand reach over and grip the side of the shrine, followed by another, and a huge blazing-eyed skeleton lich peeks over at all of you from this. You shall pay! Oops. Didn't mean to do that. 1 second. Accidentally deleted the character. Ahem. As I was just saying. Put you back in. Always do that, of course, when we're doing something dramatic. Can you guys still see the lich behind there now?
Not
I
yet.
don't think.
No.
What about now?
I don't think so.
Damn it.
There he is.
There he
There
is.
he is.
All right.
There he is.
Okay.
He just get bigger.
So you see him pulling himself up to a height where he looms down over you all. He goes, "You cannot stop what has been begun. I will not let you!" And again he begins to tower and grow even taller, the ground continuing to tremble as he rears up as a near monolithic feature above the rest of the graveyard. All of you will serve. He points to Prestonio. As a matter of fact, and what from his hand, which previously was like a flickering flame, is now a roaring green bonfire. And he hurls a missile of green energy that forks into two screaming skulls as they laugh and cackle their way to you. Excuse me, chat. Sorry. You take 7 damage.
Damn.
All right. He then looks down over at the dwarf that is on the railing. Insolent serve. And projects another ray over at the dwarf. This time, however, you may make a Constitution saving throw. Did you roll saving throw? Dwarf?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
Oof. Yikes. Yeah, that'll just be 8.
All right. What's your current hit point totals, everybody, by the way?
7 out of 14.
Okay.
I've got 7 left.
12.
Okay.
11.
10.
If everyone right-clicks on the character, there is a health bar at the bottom. You can actually change your figures to represent, so the GM can actually look at them in secret.
Yep. All right. And dwarf, you are struck by that same ray that you were earlier, and you feel your energies just get sapped from you. You just feel like your beard, which was so illustrious, all the lady dwarves loved it so much, but now it's turning gray and wiry and dry in your very grip. You notice that even your clothing becomes threadbare and begins to fall apart. And not only that, but you seem to be losing weight. But not just fat, muscle as well. All the while you see that as the beam is transferring energy back to the Lich, the arrows, which are now mere toothpicks in his chest, flick off, busted and broken, the wounded flesh mending underneath. All right. Move over to the skeleton warrior, who is now shambling. Oh, not you. You stay where you are, Bone Daddy. No. There. You're such a drama queen. There we go. This guy. Skeleton shambles over to you. Let's see. I wish I highlighted who. Over here now. Next. All right. With rusty sword in hand, the skeleton moves to engage you, clattering, rasping, desperate to serve its master. But again, you are just too deft. You easily and nimbly roll to the side and perform a misty flip and a round-off cartwheel. and the sword glances just under where your leg would have been. And you land on your feet. This zombie shambles forward in a... Oopsies, not that. Sorry, that's you. Oopsies. Zombie again continues to attempt to, battle with Prestonio. Makes an attack. Whoa! Natural 1. 1 second. Okay. The skeleton over here seems to not be aware of just how damaged it is. It reaches... I'm sorry, this zombie does. It reaches back to attack you. Like a big swiping attack. Hits its arm on the corner of the obelisk behind him. And the nearly already removed limb just breaks and snaps off. And falls at the ground. It looks down at it. Looking completely perplexed. It is now missing an entire arm. Prestonio, it is now your turn.
Well, I think it's time to put this zombie out of misery. So Crom's gonna smash!
Mm-hmm. Let's see it.
So Crom rolled a 12.
What was your attack roll?
Yeah, 12.
Was that? Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. You rear back with your axe, and you deliver what you are certain to be a killing blow. Your axe coming down with the full weight of your ancestors, and it bites down into the collarbone, and you hear the crack of the bone, the tear of the flesh, and the spray of the black brackish blood. But to your horror, the zombie stays standing with this impossible injury, his entire left side hanging off like some disgusting organic accordion. You can almost hear the music pumping through its now exposed, decrepit lungs. It is... You do not break its armor class.
Damn.
Steggy, you're up.
Alright. I'm gonna try to finish this zombie off.
Alright. What do you do?
Shoot him with my bow, because that's all I own.
Mm-hmm.
$21.
Alright, that is a hit.
Seven damage.
7 damage. Alright. Prestonio, you brace as the zombie lunges for you. You think that it's going to bite you right then and there, but again, as its mouth opens to rasp, you see an arrowhead suddenly spike out from the back of its throat, piercing between its teeth like a morbid spade. The zombie's eyes go wide, and it stumbles over to you, even grabs you by the shoulders. It slumps against you, releasing a death wail. Saliva, and some things far, far worse, leaking from its jowls, coating your armor and arm as it slumps against you with its full body weight, seemingly trying to bring you down, but in fact it is just dead, and slumps dead at your feet, with a final hiss and moan. Alright. Playerification! It is now your turn.
Alrighty. Ignoring all other threats around me, I turn towards the giant lich and attempt to leap off the sarcophagus and stab at it with the glaive.
Okay, it's, so you're gonna move away from the skeleton?
Yes.
Alright, it's going to attempt to attack you as you leave its square. What's your armor class?
15.
Alright. You see the blow coming a mile away, and just before it would even strike, you juke to the side. You feel the swish of the blade as it cuts the air beside you and implants into the ground at your feet. The skeleton It has indeed missed. You may move on with your action.
Alright, I'm gonna attempt to jump from the sarcophagus towards the giant lich.
You're going to leap towards him?
Yes.
Okay, you're trying to land on top of this thing?
Yep.
Alright. Roll jump. My understanding is that this is actually quite difficult to do, but I'm also not an asshole dungeon master, so we'll see how this goes.
Acrobatics roll.
Acrobatics, I think it is, yeah.
Yep.
Acrobatics
Let's
now?
give it a try.
It wouldn't be athletics?
Athletics is more for, like...
Yeah, athletics is like for tumbling through spaces and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, would this
15
be?
in total.
This would be athletics, not acrobatics.
Okay, 12 in total.
12 in total. You fail to make it. However, you push off with your feet. You don't quite have the running start that you need to make this really possible. You leap for the edge, and you just realize immediately that you don't have the leg strength to make it. But there might be hope that you can grab onto a vine or a foothold. Make a reflex saving throw.
Reflex is gone.
What is it now?
Probably Dex.
It's just dex save? Okay, dex save.
12 again.
And the DC for all of these is only 10, correct?
It's your
It's up
choice.
to you.
I thought that there was a particular type of saving throw that's like maybe it's ongoing damage, but it's like if you roll a 10 is the DC, you always have to hit. Is that not the case?
Not wherever you set it
Okay,
at.
because I've been setting my own DCs for this. I want to make sure that I'm not doing it wrong.
Nope, you're doing it right.
Okay.
Basically, the harder it is, the higher the DC, and that is completely up to you.
Okay, so you grab onto the edge. Roll athletics one more time.
That's not me, right? Okay.
Hey, 19.
All right. You didn't make the jump at first, but yes, your fingers sink into the crevasses of the wall. And digging your heels in, you are able to, with your rage, pull yourself up with great determination. And there you stand before the lich, nearly coming up to its waist in size. And it is staring down at you with keen interest. Kneel before me. It rasps to you. What do you say? Nay! She shouts defiantly into the sky. So unwise. He points his bonfire-sized hand your way as you have entered his threatened square. Let me see, roll this one over here. Make a Constitution save.
Eight.
8. Indeed, your mind is strong, but the flesh is weak. I said no. You feel your limbs begin to wither, including your legs. And even though you do not want to, it is not your mind betraying you. Your very body does. As your legs atrophy, months within a moment, you fall to your knees before the lich, still with your equipment in hand, but you find yourself unable to move. All right. I will say with the amount of actions that just did take place, that is all of them. That you do not get an attack after all of that. Jester,
problem.
it is now your turn.
Very well. I will scamper along the railing before firing a shot at the giant monstrous lich.
Here, I'll raise the lights a little bit for you guys just so chat can also see it better.
Nice. That is a 22 to hit.
All right, 22 to hit. You do so. Roll damage.
The arrow will pierce for 5 more damage.
Okay. You fire another arrow up at the Lich, who seems unfazed, although you know that it connected. It just seems that he's unfazed by the pain, or perhaps something else. All right, next, Hunter, it is your turn.
All right. I turn around. And then I whisper words, and I put fairy fire on the Lich.
Okay, and what does that do?
Any creature in that area for that duration, objects, you get a dex saving throw for the duration. Objects affected, creatures shed dim light. Any attack roll against an affected creature has advantage.
Okay. Gotcha. And what's the DC save? Or no save?
Dex. Dex save throw.
Dex save? But what's the DC?
The Dex save is 13, it says.
Okay. You cast your hand thinking about the Fae that you have encountered in your travels and the magics that they shared with you in your natural being. A glimmer of golden dust sprays from your fingers and up into the face of the Lich, who hisses in disgust. Disgusting Fae magics. He rasps as his body shimmers, illuminated. Indeed, your spell goes through. Okay.
Right. And I should be good.
We move on to the Lich. The Lich looks down to you, who is kneeling before him, and begins to wind up with their staff. Their staff, which is the size of a small barge, hefted overhead. You can feel the very wind sweeping with its inertia. He attempts to strike you where you are on the spot before him. Okay. Make a dex save. $14. All right. The Lich winds up and begins to come in with a colossal attack. Your atrophied limbs are beginning to betray you. You're sitting there, quivering, watching as the massive, massive tree-like staff is swinging right for your body. You're certain this is it. But then, you feel a source of adrenaline, the blood pumping to your legs. And with a desperate attempt, you're able to throw yourself into the air just high enough to literally leap over the staff and land again on your knees as it passes harmlessly beneath you. A hurricane wind gale rushing out over the rest of the map, though. In the process of doing that, you are unharmed. All right. The Lich looks over to King Steggy, however. And its eyes begin to light up green, and then begin to swirl yellow, and then red, and then 2 beams of red energy spray forth and rake the ground, aiming for where Steggy is. It seems he's searching your area. He knows where the arrows are coming from. The missiles begin to fly forth. All right. We will perform a ranged attack. What's your AC, Stegs?
14.
14? Barely. Okay, Steggy, you see the beams as they hit the ground probably 10 feet away from you, and you know that he's looking for you. You know by the way his neck is craning that is coming for you in the next moment. You rush forward, drop to your knees, and slide, narrowing your body with your bow high above your head as the two beams of his eyes graze on either side of you. You feel the heat as rays of destruction scorch the earth on either side like two plows that have just been through firm but fertile soil. You smell the ground stinking. You also notice that the stone railing behind you has been completely melted through as well. Ah! He does see you, however. Wretches. He then turns his attention down to Hunter, who's standing defiant on the sarcophagus. All of you, why do you bother? And he attempts to cast a spell on you as well. Make a reactions. I'm sorry, a dex check, Hunter. Whoop.
Uh, 21.
Okay. All right. I said dex, right?
Yep.
Okay. The Lich looks down at, as I said, on the sarcophagus, and he points a finger down to you and attempts to blast you with a ray of energy, and you feel the heat of it coming onto you. You are able to take a 5-foot step and move in any direction. Where would you like to go? You dodge to the side, and the coffin itself is struck by this green flame, and it begins to ignite and glow with a ghastly green light. All right, Skeleton Warrior. Skeleton Warrior. Skeleton moves. Oops, not you. Not you. No. No, no. No! There we go. Alright. Skeleton! Huh, huh, huh. It shambles in and attempts to attack Prestonio. Huh. Oof. It staggers in, and you're able to lift your axe deftly, and you block the blow, sparks shearing off the rust from the blade, revealing a sharp blade underneath. Prestonio, it is now your turn.
Well, Crom needs to finish this, so Crom will smash.
All right. Let's see Crom smash.
That's a 16, that.
16. That hits. Roll damage.
So that's 15 plus 2, 17 damage.
17. 17 damage?
Yep, 17 damage for the great axe.
The skeleton locks blades with you for a moment, and you stare into the abyss through its hollow, sunken eyes. You feel the tension. You know the skeleton is doing nothing but trying to harm you, nothing but pushing forward, a mindless vessel. You think about all of your warrior training as you hold this blade aloft, and then it happens. In one quick, swift, deft motion, you spin on heel, duck under the blade, and bring your axe around so hard, this time with the flat of it. And you know that even a flat object can be sharpened if you swing it hard enough. And you smash it full into the breast of the skeleton and are rewarded with the sound of crunching bone and splintering bone as dust and carbon goes flying. The jaw flies off, the head in one direction. The arm, still gripping the sword, flails wildly in the air, striking at nothing as it goes. And the very lower half walks around aimlessly, its hips having a cavorted dance of sorts, as it wanders around, seemingly blind, before it too completely crushes itself into dust. All right.
I end my turn.
Playerification. It is now your turn.
Oh, King Steggy's turn.
Oh,
Yep,
I'm
King
sorry.
Steggy.
I apologize, Steggy. I must have moved it early. Your go.
It happens. All right, so
You just dodged the dual death-raking beams.
I'm gonna pick myself up, finish my slide in front of this tombstone right here.
You do so. You slide on over an extra 5 feet, deftly putting your shoulder up against it and peeking out against the giant that looms above.
Pull out an arrow and aim at that illuminated son of a bow guy. Since he's got advantage, that's a natural 20.
That's a natural 20. My goodness.
So-
And describe your attack. What are you doing?
I'm gonna aim for his big old bonfired hand, try to separate the wrist or hand from.
Okay.
Shoot him in the wrist, break his hand off. Yeah.
You pull yourself out of the dual burned, scorched trenches and put your shoulder to the tombstone. You pull your bow up and you take careful aim. You see that he's possibly going to strike down playerification at a moment's notice. You knock your bow. Again, we see from the perspective of looking down the shaft of the arrow as it's taut. With a twang, it's loosed and spirals perfectly up through the air in satisfying slow motion. The Lich again. He's putting his hand out and he's engaging Hunter as well. The arrow spirals in and sinks right into the hand. 2d8 for Stegs, is that what you said? What's
I just multiply the 3, so it's 9.
Okay. Let me roll something here. Okay. I'm gonna roll a quick one of these. Okay. The arrow sings as it cuts through the air. A more satisfying tune than any bard in front of any warm hearth. As the arrow strikes the palm of the Lich with the bonfire-sized burning green light. What? He looks to it as the flames leap up in his hand as if empowered, but the Lich looks concerned. What in the... And then with a blinding flash, boom! A detonation occurs and his hand rips to the side. Ah! What is this? The green light is now flickering and sputtering, like a damaged jet engine on an airplane, spewing forth smoke in an inconsistent, sputtering fire. What have you done? He howls it with complete rage at whatever just happened. Playerification, it is now your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna attempt to stand under the power of his withering necromancer.
Yep.
Any type of roll for that?
What are you doing?
Trying to stand.
Okay, make a constitution check.
Yeah. $14.
All right. Mind over matter, it seems. You're not sure how you did it before. You're thinking about just the fundamentals. You dodged that staff that came flying at you like a longship. By sheer will alone, in sheer will you will stand. You concentrate, feeling your barbarian rage continue to boil through you like a kettle about to spray over. And then You just do it. You will your body. You feel the blood pump to your legs and your arms as limited strength is returned, and you're able to force yourself up to your feet, and you may act as normal.
Upon standing valiantly, I shall try to drive my glaive into its chest.
All right. Make an attack.
He gets advantage, don't forget, because
Yes.
of fairy fire.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Ah!
Okay.
21 is the high roll.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
Five in total.
Okay. You stand to your feet, and at first it looks like the lich doesn't notice you. You rear back with your glaive and attempt to stab up through the middle, and you do, and are rewarded with a horrific scream from the lich, who hisses down at you. He brings his staff around and engages you, trying to swat you aside, but you're able to parry it with your glaive. The bone-shaking impact almost knocking you off the wall, but you're able to remain, stabbing again and again. His very robes tattering against your blade. Jester, you are up.
Okay. I'm pretty much liking where I'm at right here, so I think I'm just gonna fire another shot.
Okay.
Oof. That is only gonna be 7 to hit.
Okay. Your arrow,
Sorry,
after the...
doesn't he get advantage?
Oh, you're right.
Is it advantage?
Sorry.
I would think so.
I forgot.
I thought it was just melee, but...
Oh, wait,
It's any attack.
Any
It's
attack?
roll.
Okay.
So 12.
12? Alright. The Lich is now more animated than ever, engaging with the barbarian that is standing before him. Despite his large size, you are finding it surprisingly difficult to land a shot. You draw your bow and fire, and an arrow just ignites as it sizzles, passing through the sputtering flame of his hand. Hunter, you're up.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna run.
Okay.
If I... wait. I guess
And
I'll
you
go
get
there.
stuck.
Uh-oh. Technically, would that be a squeeze action for that? I'm not a stickler, really, but... Let's say it costs an extra 5 feet to move through there. Remember, you got 30 feet that you can move. So we'll say that counts as a 10-foot square. Like 10, 15,
Should be able
20,
to make it.
25, 30. I can teleport you out too as well. Okay. Now, as you
And
step
then-
up to it, the Lich looks down to you and it's like, what? Insolent
As
maggot!
I'm running to it,
You step into its
I
threatened
cast-
square, and it attempts to
Yeah,
attack you. What's your AC?
15.
15?
Yeah.
You see it coming a mile away, nearly because he's a mile tall. You rush around the corner, and you notice that the leg is already lifting, and it's coming down for a stomp that shakes the earth. You stop short, and it stomps in front of you harmlessly, despite shaking the ground. Let's actually say, though, that playerification, I need you to make a deck save for that.
Okay. 15.
15. Some of the rocks are falling from the wall that you're standing on, but your balance retains. All right, Hunter, you managed to avoid the giant stomp. What do you do now?
Using my bonus action, I cast Chalet on myself, and I attack.
All right, and what does that do?
Basically just turns my weapon into a 1d8 with a +5 to my hit.
Okay,
for
question,
melee.
chat. Casting a spell like that in a threatened square, does that cause an attack of opportunity?
No.
No, so you can cast right in the face of people now when you're in melee?
It's kind of a buff melee attack spell.
Okay. All right. So,
Alright.
the staff that you're wielding suddenly grows thicker. The bark around the handle begins to wind around, and the vines that decoratively hang somehow reinvigorate themselves with life. The delicate tip of your staff begins to gnarl over and become a large shillelagh-like club, which is wielded rather easily in your hands. But a more imposing melee weapon it has surely become. You may act.
Alright, going for the hits. That is 17 plus 5.
That's a
That's
hit.
22.
That's a
and
hit.
then the damage is a 1d8 plus 3, so...
Nice.
11.
And this is considered magical damage now, right? With shillelagh?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If the Lich thought that you were a pest before, you certainly have his attention now. As you swing your shillelagh enchanted weapon with all of your might, and it just crunches into something behind the ritualistic robes of the Lich, and he buckles a bit. You notice a physical movement to the leg underneath the cloth, and an audible as the Lich clearly felt that one. All right, let me go ahead and update my sheet over here. Okay. And the Lich is next. All right, but as you caved your weapon into the side of the leg, he looks to his sputtering green flame hand, which is looking very inconsistent, and he looks very irate. What? No! He begins to regress in size, still a towering figure. This cannot be! Ah! He turns to face you, Hunter, and from the sputtering fire, he points it at you. New toys always break. The old will have to do! And he points the bonfire at you, and it's certainly a sputtering, not nearly with the magnificence it once held. But lo and behold, a screaming skull emits from that fireball and lances down to you at your feet. Oops, that's wrong. Disregard that amount. Disregard that. Disadvantage, spell in melee. This automatically hits. So it is an exception to that. You take 3 damage. You take 3 damage as you are struck with a magical spell. And let me see. Dungeon Master making up rules. Alright, since my players are calling me out on this, does Magic Missile no longer auto-hit?
No, it does.
It does? Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Alright, so,
Yeah, I'm gonna
just
say
as I'm saying,
he's playing
just so you guys know, from my DMing style, I didn't want to say Magic Missile, because I didn't want to reveal what it was to you guys, but it's a reskinned, empowered Magic Missile that you guys have diffused part of it. So it's like, respectfully, I take it very seriously when people call me out for making up rules. I do sometimes do it. I do. But just please be aware that, like, sometimes it's for flavor, and if you call me out on it, I'm probably gonna have to explain myself. I'm doing what I can, okay?
I figured out it was Magic Missile when you cast it on me. I'm just being an asshole.
Okay. Just keep in mind that other people are watching, and not everyone is as insightful, and you seeing the DM is making up rules, it sounds like I'm cheating, okay? And the DM's allowed to cheat, but it's one of those things where, you know,
It's why the DM.
if I'm not actively like screwing you guys over or anything like that, but again, I just anywho. Let's see. So the Lich then will direct his gaze at the dwarf, who is still standing there. He's looking at you very strangely as he does so. He's looking between all of the other targets in front of him. Dwarf Ranger, make a dex check.
Dexterity.
Yes.
8.
8. Okay. The Lich turns his attention away from Hunter. And, his eyes begin to plume again with that green light, which then swirls to a yellow, and then before long it is burning bright like a plasmic red. If I go down, I'm taking you with me! He shouts and directs his gaze, and 2 twin beams again fire in your direction. I was gonna leave. Let's see. 11 damage. Are you?
Ooh, you knocked me out.
Knocked out? Not dead though?
You only die on the spot if you go to negative your max hit.
Okay, so we're gonna do some house rules about that in the future, but I just, like, for my information, what's your hit points at right now?
-3.
Okay. Alright. So, as we just said, twin beams of plasmic red strike the ground beside Crom. Crom dodges to the side, but the Lich then begins to rake his gaze up the way, and twin beams of laser fire red begin to rake their way, burning the ground, melting stone, parting aside the way of the stone fence. Before you try to dodge left, you try to dodge right, you try to go between them like you saw Steggy do deftly a moment ago. But you are caught. You dodge one of the beams. It shears right through your cloak and billows into flame and falls lifelessly to the floor behind you. But the beam from his right eye catches you in the foot and goes right up your body, and you feel the most immolating pain you have ever felt in your life as the very skin crackles to black, parts and blisters, weeps and gives way to exposed bone which chars black. Indeed, your entire right side has horrifically been exposed to bone, as if you were some terrible undead hybrid. You are literally exposed bone and cauterized sinew from the foot up to shoulder, and you have reduced mobility as a result of it. You are flung from the location as you tried to dodge and are unconscious and considered dying. Down here. The smell of burning flesh and hair as the dwarf is suddenly not where he just was a moment ago. The rest of the party is not quite aware where he has gone. So foolish! The Lich rasps and attempts to swing his staff one more time at the Wood Elf Barbarian. And he will miss. You are able to dodge to the side, again flipping a half cartwheel over the long ship-sized staff, or I guess the tree trunk-sized staff in this case, that passes beneath you, and quite easily as a matter of fact. Prestonio, it is now your turn.
Crom gives out a massive war cry.
All right.
This, he will do a run, and
Okay.
he's going to attempt to copy what came from before and leap
All right, I believe
sarcophagus.
you're able to get your running start too. So, roll athletics.
22.
Okay. Okay. Prestonio, or Crum, should I say. 1 second. All right. Crom looks up at the shrinking lich and flies into another rage. Feeling the blood coursing through his veins, he takes up a running stance and takes several large orcish strides. He plants a foot on the sarcophagus, which kicks itself open as you kick off of it. I apparently can't open it very easily on my own, but it opens, we'll say. And you leap through the air. There we go, thank you very much. Exposing the remains of the Lord within. Crom, you are still airborne. I will allow you to make an attack. Mid-air.
Advantage?
With advantage. Fairy Fire is still working.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh no.
So the 7, but what'd you roll? In total?
10.
10 in total?
Well, yeah, 10 on the highest attack.
10 on the highest attack. All right. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. His armor class is actually different because his size changed. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Yeah, barely. Barely. Okay. This is pretty cool. All right. So, Crum, you barely hit. Roll damage.
$21 damage.
Oh my, really? Wow. Wait, I see 15. 21?
Yeah, I add +6. Oh no, I've already added +6. Add +2, sorry. 15, 17.
17. Okay. Crom, you leap into the air, your battle axe wielded above your head, as you see the already towering lich get a little bit smaller as you get closer and closer to him. You are a heat-seeking missile on a collision course with this lich. Let me see. Player Justification, you see a phase of green pass to your left as Crom is suddenly there and not there as he's passing through. Rising up with his axe gleaming in the moonlight. The lich is looking to you in slow motion, its eyes wild and fiery, as you get closer and closer, and then smash! The satisfying sound of blade meeting bone as your two-handed battle axe buries itself right between the divot in the crown on its head, splitting down between its eyes. What? He screams. No! He begins to shrink before your very eyes. You are literally hanging from its forehead, holding on to the hilt of your axe, as green fire and spirits begin to pour out of the open skull-cracked wound of this lich. Horrific energies of entropy washing over the entire graveyard as his body begins to fluctuate, and still you hold on. No! And with that, The Lich is diminished and returns to his normal size from the beginning of the encounter, and you are there on your feet before him. Ah! He blasts the area with a forceful energy that knocks you back several feet. Who are you? He says, trembling, the wisps in his hand now a mere spark as he stares at you. Who are you? All right.
Smile on my face and stay down. I am Krom.
Krom! Steggy, it is your turn.
All right, I am going to like wide receiver duck around the side of this tombstone.
All
run
right.
up 30 feet, slide past this other tombstone, and like what is that?
Like Legolas?
No, it's the Odysseus.
Like Odile,
Shooting
okay.
an arrow through the keys. Try to go right through the archways in that rail.
You slide along the fence line, dashing between the tombstones, and slide again most stylishly, bow in hand, arrow knocked, attacking with advantage.
That is a 12 total.
A 12 total. All right, you take aim and you fire through the gap in the fence line, but you watch as the arrow plinks off of one of the urns, shattering the stone plumage on top. You do miss. Player Jivication, your turn.
With a roar for Jester, I will go into a rage and leap off of.
Woo! Plunging
walls.
attack.
Yes,
All
down
right.
onto the Lich.
Okay, roll athletics.
I forgot earlier. Rage
I
gives
would-
both-
What was that?
Rage gives advantage to strength.
Oh, very. Roll again. Roll again. Roll advantage. Okay. Now make an attack. With advantage.
Hey-ya!
Okay, roll damage.
Six in total.
6 in total. All right. Roll one. Let's see. I would say roll an additional d6 falling damage, but this will be converted into bonus damage for you. An extra 1 point of damage. All right. One second. That's not right. Sorry, 1 second, guys. All right. No, is this the one I want, actually? No, I guess we'll do this one. All right. Player Jivication, you stand high atop, watching as the Lich moves to engage Krom. With Hunter quick on its heels, you dash alongside the railing, so to speak, and leap into the air with your glaive in hand, swirling above. And you come down upon the Lich like a thunderbolt. It turns just in time to see you as you come down and bury the pointed tip on the rounded edge of the glaive deep within the neck of the Lich. You land right beside it. No! It backs against the railing. And again, more sparks of lightning begin to sunder from the cleaves in its body. Where bone is missing, smoke billows in plumes, the smell of melting bone and burning hair, and burning clothing as well, as green eldritch fire continues to leak from its hands, eyes, and nose, as souls begin to leave its body, shrieking and screaming. Let me see. Checking this over here. Who are you? It rasps to you. What do you say? What do you say, everybody? Lauren Willowwind! We are the Toughnecks! I say, the bleeding sounds from the dwarf. You're unconscious. This is not over. You may have foiled me this time, but I will be back. And with a final burst of energy, he erupts into a cloud of green mist that roils like smoke up into the air like a mushroom cloud, like a small atomic bomb that's been detonated. It roils up into the sky with two looming, angered eyes and a jack-o'-lanternish mouth from the fog. I will be back. A clap of thunder and rushing winds. As his essence is scattered, and like the calm of the storm and the passing, the sun comes out as if by enchantment. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we will say that this one-shot encounter is concluded.